Yeah.
Yeah, I spent an extra $100 on it cause it's fresh out the box. I bought a spot around the corner just to flex on the eye. Yeah, R.I.P. the donor, wishing death on the cops. They treat my melanin like something you need medicine for. See, I was born off my teacher, probably down that bitch. 45 with a stick, 45 fucking kids, so I ain't following no leader. Fuck the flag, I got my own. Wrap it around my face and wrap my hand around the throne. Sitting automatic, fire by the AutoZone. Dropping shells with him and feel, I swear they never fall. Never been no nigga from the block who ever told. Catch your optics, fiber optics, watch I put it low.
Where we at? Had a Brin and a Brownie, big MG 42, mag and a Max, some Hotchkiss and a Schwartz loose, 1931, AK from Finland, 792 bullets, 3mm bigger. AS-70 by 90 Beretta, Berets and Theodore Bergman in the bezel. Legs on an M37, nevertheless, the greater 38 come with a shell catcher and a compressor. HK21 kept them big cans. DS39 with the kickstand. FN Mini Me M25, fit a party from Argentina, 765 Springfield, fuck around. 30-6, sending niggas back to Greenville. Salvatore Dormis for whoever gon' retaliate. Max 58 look like it fell off of a battle tank. Where we at?
Damn, bro. I'll be the name.
Yeah. Fucked up the streets, down the streets, and around the corners. Made it out the streets, not to be. No, it's never over. Left I'm on the streets, trying to breathe. Now we in the coma. Police pulled me over, he just trying to meet the quota. He ain't even trying to search for real. He would've found a blow. And niggas out here get that hurt for real. Ain't no more from the shoulder. Say that for the county jail. We hit the pen, we playing talking my. I ain't got to press it when you know the line. We never get in peepers, but they feel the pressure when we beefing. If they say they too in case of rest in pieces. Neighborhood we tripping on that we ain't got no killing zone. Every time we ever did our shit, we did them wrong. Tryna send them home, they only with the shit and songs. Little niggas skin and bones, if I can hit, I'm gone. So in the words of Lil Hat, I be hitting hard and fast, Cherry Ave, North. Yeah, you live on my mind. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You live on my. There we go. Yeah, 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 yeah. I come from them apartments where they hardest. Wrote my name on the wall on some art shit. Van Gogh, Van Gogh, Van Gogh, Van Gogh, Van Gogh. I come from where the park is, where we park shit. Whole world know Vince, I'm an artist. Van Gogh, Van Gogh, Van Gogh, Van Gogh, yeah. Oh. We black sheep, seen police backseat 6 years. Most of my friends did dirt, did biz. Some still live, some got wig. Got no fears, I got no peers. So I never felt no pressure. Baby, wanna be in love by leather. You might be alone, no darling. I don't do the photos, darling. I don't really do no sparring. Get too close, I'm sparking. Turn since first green rags and Marlins. Crack on your side, black mask. All you seen was the eyes like Marvin. Free mind doing stay time on the main line marching. One band, one sound. This ain't drum line you come from. My niggas finna get gunned down. I come from them apartments where they heartless. Wrote my name on the wall on some art shit. Van Gogh, Van Gogh, Van Gogh, Van Gogh, Van Gogh. go. I come from where the park is, where they park shit. Whole world knows this, I'm an artist. Van Gogh, yeah, ho. You testing face, stepping in them gates. Who won't smoke? Don't worry, I'll wait. Whole set stand by with our mandate. Man down, he got ran down, it's a rat race. Snitch K, yeah, catch one, nigga switch states. Don't 50-50 yards for my niggas, sister halls, we been killers. Socking on jaws, but no, I'm not a swimmer. Jab like Sugar Ray Leonard, they was cooking cane with us in the crib. Hate when niggas say they get it how they live. Cause I would've got life for my life too. Real rap will snap when the dice shift. 6'5" niggas shoot like Harden. Don't die tryna find your target. And be quicker than we started. Right across from the winter garden. I come from them apartments where they hardest. Wrote my name on the wall on some art shit. Van Gogh. I come from where the park is, where they park shit. Whole world knows Vince, I'm an artist. Van Gogh, yeah.
Vincent later wrote, I put my hand in the flame of the lamp and said, let me see her for as long as I can keep my hand in this flame. But I think they blew out the lamp.
Yeah.
Everything was changing.
Yeah.
I didn't know spend it. So I can control it.
Hey, I told my granny do some voodoo for my crew to thrive. Every time my mama heard them shots, she knew we died. I keep it gritty, I don't want the city beautified. Don't want it gentrified. They out here living lives. I never seen a sucker side scoring high they hand. I remember my first shot, basket shaped extended hands. Laying in the parking lot, then my pop went to the pen. Cried and got put on the block. Never missed a clock again. Airing it out. 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 Making it rain. Clearing it out. Still in loaded bases, don't know witness, close the cases. California Haitian shook them down and broke the matrix. Neon not the one, ain't nothing new beneath the sun. No, I've been grinding long enough to reach the guns. I need you none, unless you dead or more alive on top the fun. Where my chips at, don't see talking shit around the crib. Get the shit back, miss me with the riff rap. Grew up on what the wick had. Got 100 rounds for your bitch ass. Praise dance on his grave when the snitch pass. Gangland at the J, make them skip class. Kicked out in the week, that's on Crip Street. Black Glock 17, shit bout big as me. Get John Kennedy, you can't believe the rumors. Pillow talking, get you coughing, if not street maneuvers. I don't wanna, but I need to shoot you. Said he bleed me when he see me, but I seen him sooner. Yeah, airing it out. 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 Making it rain. Clearing it out. Airing 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 it out. Making it rain. Clearing it out. Yeah.
Money is really only valuable. That's true. It has no value outside of it. That's more important to me is without the music. Crap.
Falcon. I bought a 38 in the rigs. I bought a Trey 5.7 off of Temple and 10. Had a chop off of Jackson Street at White Boy crib. But the night is what I hopped inside the convoy with.
Hold up.
All racing, my money blowing, better start chasing.
Bowie, shut up.
Bowie? Guys, no.
Okay, man. That's fucking rad, bro.
I know the angels real, Cupid shuffling the deck, play my cards and made my meals. Yes, I love the dollar bills, help me build and destroy. I'm a man in many talents, trying to find my balance, you know. Why pick up a gun if you won't go for real? I mean, I really wanna know, you feel me? I heard a lot of people say that they was gonna kill me. It put a smile on my face for real. They don't got what it take for real. You know just where I stay for real. Play ball then.
I can't believe you did that to the sweater.
Feels like why I was on no comment. Yeah, fuck 5-0, no condom, Wall Street shit. I was on Cherry when the beat kicked off. Made burns like Larry had his
Didn't even need to walk.
That was when I signed a Sprite deal.
Look how it come out like, oh, where did you fall? In Greece or something?
You know.
I can't believe you didn't rinse it off as soon as you got home.
I didn't even know I got it dirty. I thought it was just my pants. I didn't stay there.
Millie!
Billy! Stop it.
Get out of here, Bowie. Go.
Oh yeah. Bo Jackson. How long Mayo did the rest of the push. Chop it over the plug. My niggas really clutch. Stack on that top and get the jibbo. Still get it for the love. All X and O, but ain't no kiss and hugs. My niggas really good. Pop out your bushes with that sticker book. You really rich with drugs. Pop out the cut, I might fuck up the club. They snitching Flexing on the slug, pull that chop out, I might cut up a rug. Get this shit in blood, pull my knot out, got this shit out the mud. Got niggas in the thumb, finna cop out, do no less than a dub. 240 months, new Givenchy's, I only won once. Every band don't match down, one up, we the reason why they brought it up. Hands on back to since the last, we burned the turnpike and tore it up. Went down half a ticket master, came home back a quarter up. I don't know too many niggas on the east side that be caking more than us. 4 bricks on consignment off my face card, that's a royal flush. When we boys, you the mad I am. Gang time, you know it's only us. If you really big cookie gang, 227, throw your 6 shades up. Boys, you the mad I am. Gang time, you know it's only us. If you really been coochie gang, 227, 36 shades up. If you really been coochie gang, 227, 36 shades up. Hell block to the sunny side, I done ran 100 up 100 times. I started stepping out my mother's dress and wearing up presses and we feeling it out. Had to take matters in my own hands with the cake back like it's Duncan Hines. Come up on the X and make another left, breaking down the package at the other house. Hydraulic flow jack in the blender, stacking all winter till the summertime. Catching all the pops and the big spinners, 400 cash, I can thumb it out. Jumping on the road over 20 years and the niggas still get the butterfly. Came a long way from the park days, vans pulling up, nice jumping out. Really thugs it out with my brother 5 on that gang shit, we on shut the jam up in the Bronx off the C-Small, selling dope out my grandmother house. Split popped in 126, out the Biggie fry, I was cutting her, cutting up blow with the cut those. It's either cut me in or either cut it off. Blood walking these Christians with all these blues on me, got me colorblind. Names keep popping up on the men's fans, wanna know what all the fuss about. Like I never been, so I never draw from my brother Park, pulled another line. Sky dwelling on the skywalk, me probably like the thundercloud.
You should've just left it and did the dog name, you know, keep going.
Boys, you know what I am. Gang time, you know it's only us. If you really been coochie gang, 227, 36 shades up.
I wouldn't think I'd do the whole sky over again like that. We go all
If you really been coochie gang, 227, 36 shades up.
well, yeah, it does, but I would just go over the whole sky again, like another way of orange and then blend it all nice, you know. It's up to you, it's your art.
niggas always got that iron on me creased up, but I done ripped. Last nigga when it comes to brand, got ripped down. Fall into the drugs on. Got lurched out the meaty 7 country gang. Boy, man, I ain't Taiwan or Argentina. Off here, whatever. On the real gun, party. Let it be. I see the hustle, double purple beam, 1,000 pants, real block to a 40-minute clip. People flying out the dope, lining out the boat, sticky as some scotch tape. 12-5 for the O's, sliding the ghost, bulletproof the drop. Hip block with the paradise, rolling like a paradise, still it's tip-top shit. I'm lost on the G7 boat for that box shape, the bitches going like hotcakes. People flying out the dope, zip lining out the boat, sticky as some scotch tape. 12-5 for the O's, still sliding the ghost, bulletproof the drop red. Hip block with the paradise, rolling like a paradise, still a tip-top shit. I'm loaded on the G7 boat for that box shape, the bitches going like hotcakes. Where we at? SHX. Let's get it. I'll bounce out of that wild turn to glory. Iceberg destroy me. Remember copper 5 birds of poison. Playing with that fire, get you fun. Roll from up on the scorpion. Shot off the side cars after that clutching them. But every action is a reaction. There ain't no catching me lacking. That's why we had to bulletproof the G-Wagon. You know that shit was played with, nigga, and we ain't cast. Talking about the bitches, he ain't never seen the green dress. Came through my pain, I got some deep gas. Told all my young niggas getting paid, we can keep stash. Just keep backing up the bitches and bandits. Talking sex, money, murder, in the sprinter with that nigga humble. 227, drugs on legend, anything a nigga get my hands on, I can sell it out. These niggas telling them I'm flicks, all fellas, walking hard like it's the hill. Let's run this shit up to the ceiling. Big bass, get past, shout it out to the hills. 6 flags, out the crown with a post full of shit. Out that way, make the drink, really out in the field. Know some niggas still paying $4 in the field. Tell the prices went up, he thought he found them still. Might just let his bitch come and help me come up the script. Black and white Cali, like a Camaro on wheels. Turning them one dimension, reason that Corella can feel.
Never the skill was questioned, I've been shoveling real. On my way to the exit, I ain't hustling still. But still hustling feel, it's just my customers frill. Dusting off my trusty steel, case I busted and killed. 40-something still a virgin, if discussing the spill. Slide punching chicken dumplings, plus I'm clutching the wheel. Me and Bodie, we steal, vacuum suction is sealed. Ate lunch and made a plan to get a bunch of this thrill. Hundreds is real, hand swivel, ducking the tail. I hit the click when niggas dumping, then I shift it and peel. I got a different appeal, like this shit on the field. Had to sit and look at flicks from this bitch from Brazil. No touching the field, for real, shit was different but still. Time got a win, letting all this chicken reveal. No lines of pills, I really just be sipping for real. Tap the kill a couple times, thinking in my mind, is it up? To chase the bag by any means, when it's this many things. Cutting up and so with dope shit, it's in the scenes. It's been a dream to reality hit. My salary shift, perspective, not no gallery piece.
Big bass, get past, shout it out to the hills. 6 flags, out the crown with a post full of shit. Out the way with the drink, really out in the field. Know some niggas still paying $4,000 to seal. Tell the prices went up, he thought he found them still. Might just let his bitch come and help me come up the script. Black and white Cali, like a Camaro on wheels. Turning them one dimension, reason that Corella can feel. Big bang.
Oh yeah, it's coming over. Oh, it's getting better. Yes. Absolutely. I would do what, like I said, make the whole sky wet again. Make the whole sky fresh wet paint. And then move on down to the dog.
I don't know. I feel like I can almost leave it like it's
Yeah.
almost done.
And then you're gonna do the dog? Mm-hmm.
Wow, look at that. Where we at? they building. In the ghetto with the demon children, some of these niggas never seen the mill. 100 Iraqis in the statue, Brody turned me up. Youngin caught a second cell charge, facing 30 months. Stephen Curry took headshot, all you heard was, no, I don't know about no dead bodies, they keep turning up. Twisting on my dead ops in this back of purple runs. You get the same for 10 bodies, you get for serving once. Murder was the case that they gave me, the concrete paid me. Mommy wasn't home, streets raised. Father couldn't save me from chefing up them cakes and the pastries. The narcotic that takes for the rage. Like a can of blood spray, for making drug plays. Fly so hot in the wintertime, you can sunbathe. Grew up on that daddy.
Don't ever put the back on that.
Walking down with you like the runway. I want my kids sneak up, you know my fun swear we kidnap money. Now I gotta watch what my son play. You're gonna walk you down with you like the runway. My block so hot in the wintertime, you can sunbathe.
Go.
Sweetest taboo, pulled up in the ginger ale. So much work on the floor, we need an extra skill. Sweetest taboo, pulled up in the ginger ale. On the road, big, they won't understand your record sale.
Ninth grade, nigga, I was fresh in the jazz. The money was cool, I bought a selection of jazz. Bought my first old 50-75. The price was high, them niggas was James. I got up, so I'm driving to church. One other time, you know this shit can get crazy. Everything cool, now I got me a plug. About the same time that I ran into Stacy. Stacy ain't Mose, he was born in Vegas. She chose up on me, now I'm serving his papers. I'm coming to the moon when I'm climbing this baby. I'm standing on my teeth, cause the language should change. You say,
Sweetest taboo, pulled up in the ginger ale. So much work on the floor, we need an extra skill. Sweetest taboo, pulled up in the ginger ale. On the road, big, get more numbers than your record sale. Still slapping on the mall off a 7 tail. Get you flip quick as some coin, but ain't no head and tails. Did I tell you I was married to the game? Solitaires with my chain click, it sound like some weed and bills. Can't drink 50 round in my waistline. Back in 03, I was looking at that letter deal. All of this paper never had me trill. Now we gon' boil out for every day my nigga sat in jail.
Like, if I painted like that so I could see the progress on the front of the thing, but
Yeah. We can't wait to see that dog black work.
Skid it. Young brother slick, but I'm off the rip. Cause all a nigga do is win, they should call me Vic. 4700 block, hoping to the clear. We the Belvedere boys, get out of the field. To the real, we got drums everywhere. I be on the track, slapping out that Hyundai. Sipping on that coffee. I'm screaming all the time. Fast pace moving in a different type of speed. No waste the only books a nigga like to read. On the 7, I was running through them airways. Me and Johnny in the spot, yeah. Good dope, sell itself on the trailway. Mac 90 in the Glock. Where we grew up off the track by the railway. Concrete, you boy, the Glock. Good dope, sell itself on the trailway. But now we Johnny on the spot. Worked up the turnpike, I let a trail blaze. Grew up in the drug zone, I was hell raised. Come hella hot water with the SBs. Big stepping water with me like a jet ski. White screen shining harder than a movie screen. Off-white Jordan tools off the Subi jeans. Half brick of PC dust in the G-Wag. On the E-Way, finna punch it like a speed badge. Bad bitch pick me up in the C-Class. Real bad man jacket, RBM ski mask. Rich boy, where we at? What's the hole up? Real ghetto boy, Rolls 40s on the road strip. Skip 7, I was running through them airways. Me and Johnny in the spot, yeah. Good dope, sell itself on the trailway. Mac 90 in the Glock. Where we grew up off the track by the railway. Concrete, your boy, the Glock. Good dope, sell itself on the trailway. But now we Johnny on the spot, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You probably make it with white and black though.
Black wax.
Or your spoon base.
Yeah. Where we at? All that I can give you, I had to cut you out the middle. We fell out soon as you got out of the spittle. Fell out of his ear. Kibbles got flipped with the pistol, still in the rental. Undercutting my blood, knew what it was. I'm off the drip. Shit was on you, not angry. Famo told me not to befriend you. Then you did what you did. For that I can never forgive. Still I did you a solid. That night I caught you off a candle. Swap me, put in a corner. Spin his block just like a spinner. I don't know how we rock. For Buddy Blocks, he gon' blend you. Last thing that they gon' ask before we kill him is who sent you. Nigga had up his fronts. Now that money starting to win. Ain't nothing accidental, coincidental. Took off on the stand, tried to give me jams. Whatever, 1,008 grams wrapped up in syringe. Yeah, you know your mans kept that shit 100 grams. Yeah. Took off and you ran, thought that we was friends. Hey, took advantage, showed me how she really plays. Took for granted on me and you being friends. I can give you tried to play me like a fiddle. Taught him how to turn the enemy mother into a McGriddle. Popped out with that nickel. Spot hot, I'ma make it sizzle. We want all the blues and the OJs if they official. Now they should've paid their ticket. Instead, you gon' make me bitch you. Fry the scene up the ante to move my family to Brickle. Ice balls in the crystal. Trying to finesse me off a Mitchell. Cooking up in that pickle jar. Don't get caught up in a pickle. Off of SHXMAN.T niggas gotta drop love before they pretty.
Feet hurt bad. Oh my god, yeah, the concert's in 12 days, eh?
These spots when you red-handed, it ain't no bond after they punch feds. Pick you up and play with your mind, fuck up your mental. Niggas snitching cause they came through that time, and ain't that something?
This episode of the Y-Files is brought to you by Cake Wallet. Thousands of years ago, prehistoric people dragged massive stones for miles. They arranged them in patterns across Europe, standing in circles, forming rows. These monuments puzzled researchers for centuries. Then came Alexander Thom, a Scottish engineer, an Oxford professor obsessed with numbers. He surveyed hundreds of ancient sites, measured every stone, calculated every angle, and found something impossible. A single unit of measurement, exactly 2.72 feet. This wasn't random. The same length appeared everywhere. At sites separated by thousands of miles, built across thousands of years, Thom called it the megalithic yard. Archaeologists called it nonsense. Stone Age people had no writing, no metal tools, no advanced mathematics. But the number appeared everywhere, at every major site, in every structure. This wasn't coincidence. Thom believed he found the blueprint of a lost system, a universal ruler connected to the stars, the sun, and the earth itself. The system required knowledge these ancient builders shouldn't have possessed. So if Stone Age people didn't create this technology, who did? I don't care what she says, the powdered wig stays.
Yeah, human, is she there? It's an emergency. Wait, what's with the wig? I told you she's not gonna go for the Hamilton role play. You might have better luck with Phantom or Les Mis.
You just mind your business. What is the emergency?
I gotta plan a last-minute date night with Gertie. I forgot. Today's our hump-anniversary.
Hump-anniversary?
I had to celebrate the wedding time.
No, I don't want to know. Just what do you need me for?
Yeah, I need to buy a candlelight dinner for two, hoof wax, 3 hours on a hot air balloon, and a bottle of 2016 Chateau Lafite Rothschild.
Chateau Lafite Rothschild?
It's red Bordeaux wine.
I know what it is. You still haven't answered my question. What do you need me for?
Yeah, I need you to pay for it.
And there it is.
Wait, hear me out. Gertie and I share a bank account. If she sees the charges, she'll know I slipped my noodle, and I'll be in Dutch for a month.
She watches the account that closely?
Oh, yeah. She may have the hump of an angel, but she's got the eyes of a falcon and ears like an unsanctioned NSA eavesdropping program. I gotta keep these purchases on the QT.
Well, it sounds like you need Cake Wallet.
I believe you just floated my love gondola into the tunnel of sponsor.
I sure did. Cake Wallet is your own private wallet for modern digital cash. No banks, no delays, no middlemen. It's free, open source, and offers industry-leading privacy features to keep you safe. With Cake Wallet, managing crypto is simple, secure, and completely under your control. Setting up is easier than opening a bank account. But unlike a bank, you're the only one with access to your money. Think of it as your own personal digital safe, right on your phone, where even Cake Wallet can't see or touch your funds.
So even if Gertie tries to snoop, she won't get wise about the Sky Rioters' private fireworks display and mariachi band.
Exactly. Although you might be going overboard. Plus, with Cake Pay integrated, you can shop at hundreds of retailers online or in person around the world. And it's not just about spending. Cake Wallet supports Monero, Bitcoin, Litecoin, and many other technologies, leading the way in privacy, all while keeping your financial information safe. If you think crypto is complicated, Cake Wallet is designed for beginners and advanced users alike. Download it entirely free from your app store. Start your crypto journey for free with Cake Wallet by clicking the link in the description.
This is great. Now I can plan the perfect date. Hang on. Hello? Yeah, about 1200 should do it. Yeah, thanks. Sorry about that. I'm creating the lake scene from the notebook in the backyard.
Please don't... Wait, what did you just order? 1200 what?
Ducks.
You better not...
You might want to park down the street tonight. And, bring an umbrella.
Alexander Thom was a retired professor of engineering from Oxford University. He had the best survey equipment available. On weekends and holidays, he'd load his car with measuring tools, then drive to remote locations, visit stone circles that had stood for thousands of years. Thom wasn't looking for artifacts or treasure. He was looking for patterns. Over decades of fieldwork, he studied more than 600 megalithic sites across Britain and France. Then Tom made an extraordinary claim. These ancient builders were using technology far ahead of their time. These Neolithic people were thought to be primitive, no writing, no advanced mathematics. But somehow they used a standardized unit of measurement. He called it the megalithic yard, 2.72 feet, or 0.829 meters. Not 0.828, not 0.83, exactly 0.829 meters. The same measurement appeared all over the ancient world, used for thousands of years. Alexander Tom knew he'd found more than a prehistoric ruler. He found a key. As he analyzed data from hundreds of sites, a pattern emerged. The stone circles weren't crude piles of rock. They followed precise geometric designs, perfect circles and ellipses. The Ring of Brodgar in Scotland has 27 stones set in a perfect circle, but it was originally 60 stones. 60 matches ancient Mesopotamian math systems.
So big.
60 seconds, 60 minutes, 6 days of creation. Stone placement accurate to an inch over a 340-foot diameter. Modern surveyors with laser equipment couldn't do better. This wasn't primitive work. This was advanced engineering. The perimeter of the Sarsen Circle at Stonehenge measures exactly 120 megalithic yards. The width of each stone is 2.5 megalithic yards. These aren't rough estimates, these are exact values. Tom found the same geometric principles occurring again and again. Evidence of Pythagorean triangles, thousands of years before Pythagoras was born. They were encoding mathematics into the landscape, using the megalithic yard as their standard unit. But these weren't just monuments, they were machines. Giant instruments built of earth and stone. Tom believed they were observatories. Sites like Callanish on the Isle of Lewis, the massive complex at Avebury. These were immense clocks and calendars. Using the megalithic yard, builders achieved perfect alignment with the solstice sunrise. They tracked the equinoxes. Now, most people think the equinox is when day and night are the same length. Well, that's actually called the equilux, which happens a few days before. The equinox is when the center of the sun crosses the Earth's equator. Stone Age people aren't supposed to know what the equator is. Some sites were precise enough to predict lunar eclipses. They even tracked the moon's maximum northern and southern positions. This is almost a 19-year cycle. This required generations of observation and incredibly precise measurement. The megalithic yard wasn't arbitrary. It wasn't just a convenient length like a pace or an arm span. Tom believed it came from the cosmos itself, a unit linked directly to the planet. Some researchers think the megalithic yard was part of a system based on a 366-degree circle, not our modern 360-degree system. In that system, each degree had 60 arc minutes, each minute 6 arc seconds. Each arc second equaled 366 megalithic yards. Now multiply all those numbers together, you get the circumference of the Earth. Think about that. People without writing, without modern mathematics, without telescopes or computers, somehow calculated a unit of measurement based on the exact size of the planet, thousands of years before we had accurate ways to measure this. Geometry, astronomy, mathematics. This wasn't superstition, this was science. These ancient cultures weren't in contact with each other, but possessed the same ancient knowledge, which could mean only one thing. The knowledge came from a single source. This lost science, this cosmic blueprint etched in stone, presented archaeology with a big problem. How did this knowledge spread? We're talking about hundreds of sites, from the Orkney Islands north of Scotland, down through England and Wales, across the Channel to Britain and France. Sites separated by hundreds, sometimes thousands of miles, built over hundreds of years, by cultures with no known direct contact. Yet they all use the same 2.72 feet, the same megalithic yard, with the same geometric and astronomical sophistication.
What is this weed or?
How? Mainstream archaeology didn't have many answers. The conventional view was that Neolithic societies were isolated. They were small bands of people. They didn't travel, they didn't trade, they didn't communicate. The idea of a standardized, precise measurement shared across such vast distances seemed impossible. But none of this was written down. No instructions were carved in stone. And there's no evidence of simple math and geometry getting more complex over the years. It's as if this sudden, highly advanced knowledge just appeared. And once this knowledge arrived, it was all over Europe. Then researchers started looking for evidence of the megalithic yard in other parts of the world. Now, they were mostly looking for ways to disprove the yard. Instead, they found more evidence of it. The ancient Egyptians used a remnant, which measured 14.6 inches. Now, if you make a triangle that is 1 remnant wide and 2 remnant tall, the diagonal or hypotenuse is 32.6 inches. That's exactly 1 megalithic yard. Again, calculated using the Pythagorean theorem thousands of years before he discovered it. Make a triangle that's 1 ancient Sumerian cubit wide and half a cubit tall, you get 1 megalithic yard. Other measurements from ancient Mesopotamia also hint at a common base unit and Pythagorean triangles. It was like finding fragments of the same ancient system scattered across the globe, remnants of a once universal language of measurement, a language that predated all known civilizations. This raised a fundamental question. Did independent cultures independently arrive at the exact same unit of measurement? Highly unlikely. Did knowledge slowly spread through undocumented contact over generations? Possible, but hard to prove. Or did it point to something more profound? Evidence of a common origin, a shared, older source culture. The similarities across cultures were too strong to ignore. Egypt, Britain. The pattern pointed to a global system, a system inherited from a civilization that came before them all. A civilization that understood cosmic cycles, that possessed advanced mathematics, that spread its knowledge across the ancient world. A civilization wiped from history, leaving only echoes of its knowledge. A civilization encoded in stone, preserved in the dimensions of sacred sites. A civilization hidden in plain sight for thousands of years. A civilization like Atlantis.
Okay, buddy's on some drugs.
Fragments of an ancient measurement system found across continents, linked by mathematical principles that shouldn't exist. A civilization like Atlantis seemed like a ridiculous explanation, but Alexander Thom was just following the evidence. He wasn't searching for myths or legends. He was an engineer. He didn't believe in magic. He believed in math, in numbers, in patterns that couldn't be dismissed as coincidence. He spent decades mapping megalithic sites. His detailed surveys uncovered something other researchers missed. The ancient sites weren't randomly placed. Their positions formed straight lines across Britain and France. When researchers plotted major megalithic sites on maps, unexpected geometric patterns emerged. Stonehenge, Avebury, Glastonbury Tor, they formed an isosceles triangle. The distance of the long sides, 19,000 megalithic yards exactly. And the angles between them are 23.5 degrees. That's the same angle of the Earth's axial tilt. Rodger, Cavendish, and May's-Howe created another perfect triangle whose size could be measured in perfect megalithic yards. Not in fractions of yards, in whole numbers. And the angle in that triangle is 27.5 degrees. That matches the moon's lunar standstill angle. The Rollright stones, Arbor Low and Stanton Drew, form a megalithic yard triangle containing the angle 43.2 degrees. 43.2 and 432 appear everywhere from Norse mythology to ancient Egyptian architecture, specifically the Great Pyramid. Other sites revealed similar geometric relationships. Sites separated by mountains, by water, by huge distances, yet maintained mathematical connections with each other. The strangest triangle connects 3 sacred sites, Stonehenge, Silbury Hill, and Old Sarum. The size sides form a 3-4-5 Pythagorean triangle. Perfect proportions. Perfect whole number megalithic yards on all sides. A perfect right angle. It's the foundation of all architectural design. Neolithic builders were using this principle thousands of years before the pyramids were built in Egypt, and they were using it at a landscape level, over miles of terrain. These alignments weren't visible from the ground. They can only be seen from high above, very high, from high in the atmosphere, or from orbit. How did ancient people know these perfect alignments without aerial surveys, without satellites, without flight? The engineering required to do this wasn't just impressive, it was impossible, at least for Neolithic people with simple tools. The margin of error was smaller than the width of a human hair, but the sites maintained this accuracy over distances of hundreds of miles, over uneven terrain, over rivers and valleys. Even modern surveying equipment would struggle to achieve this. These discoveries were revolutionary, but the academic establishment was not impressed. The findings were uncomfortable. Traditional archaeology couldn't explain them. Tom's work was dismissed and ridiculed. He was marginalized. But the numbers didn't lie. The alignments were real. The cosmic connections were real. The ancient builders weren't just placing stones randomly. They were mapping something flowing through the earth. Alexander Tom didn't have the technology to predict it, but now we do. Critics of the megalithic yard focused on margins of error, but Tom saw more than numbers in the stones. He saw intention, design. The megalithic builders weren't just placing stones randomly. They were mapping something flowing through the Earth's crust. These invisible pathways connecting ancient sites weren't just imaginary lines on maps. They were something real, something physical, something measurable. In 1921, amateur archaeologist Alfred Watkins noticed ancient sites formed straight alignments across the British landscape. He called these paths ley lines. Watkins saw them as simple trade routes, old roads connecting sacred places. But decades later, researchers found something stranger. These lines didn't just connect sites. They followed Earth's magnetic field lines. They tracked underground water sources. They aligned with natural fault lines in the Earth's crust. The Earth isn't solid rock all the way through. It's a dynamic system. Molten iron core, magnetic field, tectonic plates, currents flowing beneath our feet. Modern instruments detect subtle electromagnetic fluctuations along these ancient alignments, places where the Earth's natural energies concentrate, flow, and interact. What if the megalithic yard wasn't just about measuring distance? What if it measured wavelengths, frequencies, energy patterns in the Earth itself? Some researchers believe the megalithic sites were built where these natural energies peak. The stones acted as markers, as amplifiers, as instruments tuned to the Earth's subtle energies. Scientists at Edinburgh University found that stone circles often sit above underground streams and geological fault lines, places where Earth's magnetic field shows measurable anomalies. The megalithic yard could have been derived from these energy wavelengths, a unit calibrated to the planet's natural resonance. Ancient cultures around the world spoke of invisible energy lines. Chinese feng shui mapped dragon currents flowing through the earth. Australian Aborigines followed song lines across the continent. Native Americans built on power spots where the Earth's energy was strongest. Same concept, different names. The megalithic builders may have been tapping into these currents, using stones to mark them, channel them, maybe even harness them for purposes we still don't understand. Not through primitive superstition, but through direct observation, through scientific measurement, through mathematical precision using the megalithic yard. If true, these prehistoric engineers weren't measuring miles or feet, they were measuring the Earth's energy grid, a sophisticated technology hidden in plain sight. Monuments built as instruments, tuned to the planet itself. Others point to the acoustic properties of these sites. Stonehenge, Newgrange, Karnak, they create unusual sound effects, standing waves, resonant frequencies. A drum struck at certain spots in Stonehenge creates vibrations that match the site's key measurements in megalithic yards. The correlation is mathematical. It's precise and deliberate. The megalithic yard is 0.829 meters, a strange number, unless you start thinking in terms of harmonics. A 0.829 meter wavelength is 413.6 hertz. That's very close to the G sharp note just above middle C, a harmonic tone. As we've covered before, many sites, including the Great Pyramid of Giza, resonate around harmonic frequencies. Stone chambers can amplify these frequencies. The precise geometry of stone circles, potentially laid out using the yard, might have created powerful acoustic chambers.
What's interesting is hearing these sounds in the center of the circle of stones.
Today you can still hear some echoes. So you hear the birds calling, or if you clap your hands, or if you play musical instrument, you hear quite a subtle echo, but if you're listening, it is clearly there.
Think of how sound behaves in a cathedral or specially designed concert hall. These ancient sites, built with massive stones positioned according to specific measurement, could have resonated at specific frequencies when exposed to wind, chanting, or drumming.
Archaeologists generally agree that Stonehenge was some sort of temple aligned with the movements of the sun. But a research team at the UK's University of Huddersfield believe its stones might also have been positioned to create acoustic effects.
And when you clap your hands, that leaves your hands, goes up, and it hits all the stones in the circle, and because I'm right in the centre, it's a bit of a focus.
And we know that frequencies affect the human mind. They can induce altered states of consciousness. And the megalithic yard has another dimension. It might connect to human biology. The number 2.72, or more precisely, 2.718, is the mathematical constant E, Euler's number. It's one of the most important numbers in mathematics. It's the base of natural logarithms, found everywhere in nature. The growth patterns of shells, the unfurling of leaves, the distribution of prime numbers, even the way nerve signals travel through your body. It's a fundamental constant of reality. And the megalithic yard matches Euler's number. This is either the biggest coincidence in archaeological history or evidence of profound mathematical knowledge that shouldn't exist in the Stone Age. And then there's the most radical idea, that the megalithic yard wasn't developed by Neolithic humans struggling with basic survival, that it's a remnant, a piece of inherited knowledge passed down from a much older, far more advanced civilization that disappeared long ago. Like Atlantis, Mu, Lemuria, or maybe the great builders of Tartaria, or maybe visitors from somewhere else. Visitors who came to Earth and gave primitive humans a gift, a number, a literal universal number that allowed humanity to take a great leap forward. The megalithic yard can be found everywhere you look for it, in stone, in the sky, running through the earth. It's a number that wasn't just used to measure distance, but was a key related to frequency, vibration, sound, gravity, and consciousness. It's a number that seems to be connected to reality itself. Into fundamental constants of the universe, encoding secrets in stone circles using a single precise unit. A unit rediscovered thousands of years later by a persistent Scottish engineer. It's a great story. But is it true? Alexander Thom made a good case. But the better our technology gets, the more precisely we can measure things. So does Thom's theory hold up today? Thom claimed his unit, 2.72 feet, was used with remarkable precision across hundreds of sites. But later researchers applying more modern methods disagreed. Archaeologist Clive Ruggles said Thom's analysis suffered from selection bias. He focused on sites and measurements that fit his hypothesis while overlooking others. We see this with every urban legend, every paranormal or UFO story. People cherry pick facts that support their story and ignore everything else. Like the triangles. If you connect enough sites, you'll be able to find triangles with right angles. But none of the triangles are as perfect as Tom claimed. Most ancient sites don't use the megalithic yard, but some do. Tom focused on those. The rest use measurements close to a megalithic yard, but close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, not when trying to explain a universal cosmic numerical constant. That kind of number should be consistent. It's not. Then there's the lack of direct physical evidence. We have examples of ancient Egyptian gibbet rods. We have Mesopotamian weights and measures. But despite decades of searching, no one has found a Neolithic rod clearly marked with a measurement of a megalithic yard. So if not a precise standardized yard, why did Tom always record measurements of about 2.72 feet? Well, there are simpler, less exotic explanations. The length of 2.72 feet is very close to a comfortable step, especially for measuring ground. That's how we measure the backyard in football. We walk in narrow steps. The yard might be nothing more than the average stride length used by builders laying out sites. This method wouldn't create lengths that are perfectly uniform, but since humans are pretty much the same size, the length of their stride is pretty much the same length. This would result in measurements clustering around an average that Tom later identified as the yard. Tom took tens of thousands of measurements of all kinds of things from over 600 locations. That's a lot of data to choose from. Observing techniques like sometimes confirm Tom's measurements with surprising accuracy. Other techniques show some variations from the picture is complicated. Tom's critics miss something important. The sites were used for astronomical observation. This is fact, not speculation. Couldn't predict this. Yet somehow, even farmers without writing, without mathematics, encoded this information in stone. The sites work. They function as astronomical computers. The question isn't whether they use advanced mathematics. The question is how they knew it. So where does that leave us? Well, I think Alexander Thom is a hero. His dedication was incredible. His surveys provided invaluable data. He forced archaeologists to take another look at many megalithic sites. These weren't random piles of rocks. It was into the 1960s, years before Stonehenge sites tangible and immense scale. Was there a single universal megalithic yard accurate to millimeters shared across Neolithic Europe? Probably not. There's no physical evidence to support it. But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. We still don't have good answers as to how these sites were built. How do primitive people, without the tools or written language, manage to quarry 30-ton stones, move them 20 miles, and stay alive? In the 90s, archaeologists Trudy Richards demonstrated how 140 people could move a 40-ton stone using limited tools.
Holy shit. That arm is just...
But it wasn't easy for them, and they weren't very accurate. Yet these sites are over 5,000 years old and show complex geometry. Their structures are aligned precisely with the movements of the sun and the moon. The more we study them, the more we learn that Stone Age humans were making mathematical and cosmological connections thousands of years before anyone thought possible. The real mystery to me is not how our ancestors built these monuments, it's why they stopped. They moved mountains and mapped the stars and built structures aligned with cosmic precision. Then suddenly, they didn't.
Only 5% of Göbekli Tepe has been excavated. So why are we still at 5%, and what is the holdup? Which is how I came to learn that a 20-year partnership that enabled the Dokas Group to oversee excavations and tourism management at Göbekli Tepe. This was literally announced at the annual World Economic Forum meeting in Davos, Switzerland. I mean, you can't make this up.
There's a gap in human history. It's an uncomfortable gap that mainstream archaeology doesn't like to discuss.
The director of excavations of Göbekli Tepe has called for me to be sanctioned, essentially banned from the site itself for potentially the entire country of Turkey.
What other knowledge did ancient humans possess? Why did they lose that knowledge? And if so much knowledge can be lost once, who's to say it couldn't happen again? Thanks for listening or watching the Y-File Stripped, where I try to get right to the point, right to the story, and then right to the truth. But like most topics we cover in the Y-Files, today's was recommended by you, so if there's a story you'd like to see or learn more about, go to theyfiles.com/tips. If you're watching on YouTube or other video platforms, remember the Y-Files is also a podcast. In fact, Stripped episodes are designed to be podcasts where we try to use as much sound and music as we can to immerse you in the story. But if you're listening on a podcast platform, keep in mind there's a video version that contains some images we talked about and other fun visuals. You're not missing any of the story, but the video is there if you'd like to see more. Now, if you need more Y-Files in your life, check out our Discord. There are thousands of people on there 24/7, and they're into the same weird stuff we are. It's a great community, it's a lot of fun, and it's free to join. And special thanks to our patrons who make the Y-Files possible. Every episode, every podcast, every live stream, everything I do is dedicated to our Patreon members. I could not do this without your support. And if you'd like to support the channel and join our incredible community, consider becoming a member on Patreon. For as little as $3 a month, you get access to perks like videos and podcasts early with no commercials. You get access to merch only available to members. Plus, you get 2 private live streams every week just for you. And the whole Y-Files team is on the stream. And you're welcome to turn on your webcam, ask a question, talk about anything you like. I think it's the best perk there is. Another great way to support the channel is grab something from the Y-Files store. And I do everything I can to keep the prices as low as possible. There's no $30 t-shirts or nonsense like that. Plus, if you become a member on YouTube for $3, you get 10% off everything in the Y-Files store forever. And if you want to join for just 1 month to get the coupon code and then cancel, that's completely fine. The YouTube membership is meant to save you money, not make me money. In fact, every dollar from YouTube memberships goes to my incredible team. Those are the plugs, and I hope you had fun, and I hope you know that me and everyone at the Y-Files is working really hard for you. So until next time, be safe, be kind, and know that you are appreciated.
Hello? Hey, human! I don't like this format!
Around him was distorted and chaotic. Kanev was sure he was losing his mind. Every step was agony, and then he heard it. The entity laughing in his mind, urging him to let go. The voice promised peace, knowledge, and truth if he just let go. And he wanted to. He almost gave in when he saw a thin strip of light. The entrance, still open, still reachable. He pushed harder. The entity's grip weakened as they neared the light. Finally, Kanev and the few survivors spilled out onto the cold ground. The tunnel sealed itself behind them as the scream of the entity's rage slowly faded. Marina was unconscious, her mind shattered. Ellie was trembling and still muttering, "It's us, it's us." Kanev coughed and tasted sulfur as he gasped for air. He stared at the sealed entrance. The entity was still in there, waiting for the next fool to take the bait. Kanev gave the orders. No more digging, no more object number 1, no more mission. The entity claimed 18 lives, bodies that would never come home. He called for cement mixers to fill the hole with every bit of concrete they had. The Tsarichina hole, once a site for discovery and hope, had become a place of horror. Kanev felt lucky that a few had escaped, but the entity wasn't finished with them just yet. On December 6, 1990, the Bulgarian military launched a secret mission in Tsarichina to hunt for alien artifacts. They dug a hole 200 feet deep and over 500 feet long. The work continued steadily for almost 2 years. Then, on November 19, 1992, the military suddenly gathered their people, tents, and equipment and poured concrete into the hole, sealing it forever. Operation Sunray was over, but its effects lingered. UFO sightings increased, glowing spheres returned, strange threatening notes appeared around town. People experienced psychological trauma and physical illness. There were reports of poltergeists, energy fields, cryptid sightings, strange weather, time distortions, and bad luck.
That covers just about everything except for maybe crop circles.
Oh, those happen too.
Well, this place has got more weird stuff than Mount Shasta or Mount Hayes.
It's either the most paranormal place on Earth, or it's not. Most details of the Dzurichina story come from Colonel Canev's book, The Dzurichina Phenomenon.
There's always a book.
There's always a book. He talked about the energy fields, the alien technology, and the metal object that blinded them with light.
Blinded by the light, red up like a deuce, another runner in the night. Blinded by the light.
After his book was published in 1992, the story evolved, with new details replacing the old ones. Today was a moderate version. Some people get really creative with this one. Hundreds of podcasts, videos, and articles about the Dzurichina whole incident are floating around. All tell a different story. All tell a good story. None of them are the truth. Here's what really happened.
And thousands of people just left to go watch a different video.
General Radny Minchev was convinced by psychics that Tsar Samuel's treasure was hidden under Dzurichina. Nobody bothered to check that at the time, Dzurichina was part of the Byzantine Empire, making it unlikely they'd find any treasure there. But Elia Loganova was convincing. She channeled a super-intelligent being named Roro, who confirmed the visions and promised to guide them.
Well, did you just say Roro?
Yep, that was the name of the interdimensional being talking to Ellie. Roro.
I guess, you'd think a super-intelligent, hyperdimensional being would have a cooler name than the way Scooby-Doo says, uh-oh.
Minchev, suffering from prolonged cancer at the time, was in a weakened state and vulnerable to influence. Plus, in 1990, Bulgaria was chaos. The psychics convinced him this operation would bring glory to Bulgaria, so he approved it and launched Operation Glory.
Well, Operation Glory. What about Sunbeam? Sunray, light beam, star beam, moonshine?
Well, Canev's book calls it Sunbeam, but eventually it became Sunray. But officially it was Operation Glory. Colonel Napolitanov was put in charge, but he didn't trust the psychics. He felt that they were using the general.
Hang on, I thought Colonel Kanev was in charge.
No, Kirill Kanev was just a researcher. The internet might be confusing him with General Dinev, who was in charge of the logistics, but Kanev wasn't even there. Yet in his book he claims he was, and portrays himself as a hero. As soon as Colonel Napolitanov's daughter Marina was brought in, they both started having headaches and feeling sick. Because Colonel Napolitanov was against the operation and very vocal about it, he believed that he and his daughter were being targeted by a psychotronic weapon.
Did you just make that word up?
No. Psychotronic weapons influence someone's mind and behavior. The colonel said that he and his daughter were being targeted by a weapon developed by the Soviets. They were being told to jump off a building. He suspected that General Minchev was ordering the attacks. Midway through the project, Marina left, and shortly after, she jumped off a 10-story building.
Whoa, are you kidding me?
Afterward, the colonel lost it and filed a formal complaint with the Ministry of Defense. He blamed General Minchev and then left the project. His complaint reads like a man losing his mind. The military tried to have him committed for these wild allegations. 18 months later, he jumped off a bridge.
There's no such thing as a coincidence.
There's not. But those are the only juicy parts of the story. That's it. The dig didn't turn up anything, and it came under public scrutiny. A commission was sent to investigate, and they were not impressed. The geologist on the team, Dr. Jivko Ivanov, testified the only thing he found odd was the military was hiring psychics.
There are no materials of non-natural origin, no radiation, no gas, no danger for the population of the area. Psychic guides attempt to suggest the presence of some supernatural corridor or passage, and a complicated search for an object for which there is no data.
He was asked what about all the strange activity in the area.
The idea that the area was prone to catastrophe is false. Nothing like this is known to us.
What we do know is that a lot of government money disappeared during this project. Millions of dollars. Many witnesses said this project was a scam perpetrated by General Minchev. They got caught, the project was shut down in a hurry, and all documents were destroyed. When the Soviet Union collapsed, the entire Eastern Bloc fell apart. Bulgaria's communist government ended in November 1990, and the democratic constitution wasn't passed until July 1991. So for a year, there was essentially no government in Bulgaria. With no law, the powerful took advantage. Operation Glory was launched just a few weeks after the communist government fell.
So who is in charge?
The same people who are always in charge when there's no democracy.
The guys with the most guns.
Right. Military leaders with troops and weapons at their disposal, like General Minchev. Corruption was rampant in Bulgaria during this time. It still is. Bulgaria is notorious for having crooked politicians, judges, and law enforcement at the highest levels. It's still like that today.
Oh, Bulgaria should look at the United States. Our legal system provides equal justice for all. Our federal law enforcement agencies are incorruptible. The FBI's leadership exemplifies honor and integrity and an unwavering deference and respect for the Constitution of these great United States.
Are you being
Of
sarcastic?
course I'm being sarcastic.
Now, on this channel, we have nothing but respect for the agents and officers in the field.
True, fair enough, but their bosses are more crooked than a dog's hind leg.
That was a weird metaphor.
But we were talking about crooked cops, so I think I got that one from Sheriff Roscoe Pico train.
I was more of an Enos fan. Elder Loganova is still around, and she tells a version similar to the one in Kenneth's book. She had 4 notebooks that documented everything, the proof, but they were confiscated by the military. And now she's selling her own book that talks about the story.
It's always a book.
So, Operation Sunray, Light Beam, Glory, people were there. Whether or not you believe these things happened to them is up to you. But before you make a decision, here's something. In 1981, the Bulgarians launched the Golyamo-Radishta expedition in the mountains near the border with Turkey. At Golyamo, they were searching for buried treasure, but they were really looking for ancient artifacts or alien technology. They brought psychics with them. They were told the location by Baba Vanga.
Yeah. Kids, yeah.
They had an encounter with aliens and dark forces. A couple of people died. Some managed to escape. They sealed the cave and left in a hurry. And that project was also covered up. Now, I listen to lots of podcasts about how the people in the area feel like there's a special energy there. It's a paranormal hotspot. There's a vortex. It's on a ley line, all that stuff. That may be what the young people say because it's fun. But the older folks who were there for the dig said nothing strange happened and they'd like to be left alone. But they never will be. Stories like this resonate because we know there's more to reality than we understand. So we keep asking questions. But it warns us we might not like the answers, and some mysteries are better left unsolved. This story has been told forever. Pandora's Box, the Tower of Babel, Faust, the Fisher King, the Matrix, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
It wants to give us a gift.
The 3-body problem.
There are those who say we should not inquire too closely into who else might be living in that darkness. Better not to know.
And hundreds more.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
All stories about pushing boundaries in search of hidden knowledge that lead to unintended and often disastrous consequences. This is a theme that's going to keep turning up until we finally understand the universe and our place in it. That's going to take a while. So we're going to keep seeing variations of this classic story again and again. And you know what? That's fine with me. Just leave Indiana Jones alone. ASMR folks call a braingasm.
No, every time someone hits the like button, I feel a tingling in my dorsal fin. Whoa! Oh boy, someone just did it.
I felt that too.
No, baby! Ooh.
Okay, ease up on the like button. We don't want Hecklefish to stroke out.
Wow, wow.
How do you join a cult without knowing it? Well, here's how it happened to thousands of people in San Francisco just a few years ago. You're with a trusted friend, maybe on a hike or sitting in a bar or just hanging out. Then out of nowhere, your friend asks, "Can you keep a secret?" Well, of course, you reply that you can. Your friend then hands you a small black sleeve about the size of a credit card. On one side of the sleeve, embossed in gold, is a geometric pattern. On the other side, the words "absolute discretion." Inside is a security card printed with a website and a code. Later that night, you go to the site and enter the code. And the website responds with, "Congratulations, you've been invited to the Latitude." And what happens next? changes you forever. After entering your code, you set up an appointment to visit the San Francisco house. You're ordered to tell no one and come alone. You arrive at a nondescript building and swipe your card through the electronic lock. The door opens. You're now in a narrow hallway painted matte black. From invisible speakers, an ominous pulsing sound is heard. On the walls are 2 red lights which fade in and out in time with the sound. High above you in the room, like every room in the Latitude, is a camera. You are being watched. At the end of the hall is an ornate Victorian mantel of some kind, but where you'd expect to find a fireplace is the entrance to a wooden slide. And the slide curves down into the darkness, so there's no way to tell where it leads.
There's no sign or instructions or nothing?
Nope.
How do you know this doesn't lead to something awful like sharks or snakes or a K-pop concert?
You don't. To go any further inside the Latitude, you must literally go down a rabbit hole with no idea what awaits you at the bottom. After a quick and gentle trip down the slide, you're deposited into a basement room called the Flux Chamber. On one side of the room is a series of doors. On the other is a bright neon sign that says, shh. And under that sign, behind glass, is a ticket taker. But the glass is so heavily frosted, you can't really see the person's face. You simply hear their voice. You're given a claim ticket and asked to turn over all your personal belongings, your wallet, purse, phone, keys, everything in your pockets. You're told this is for your own safety.
I don't like where this is going.
Once you've complied with this request, you hear a door unlock. You enter and close the door behind you. It's dark. So dark that you have no idea if you're in a huge room or a closet. You can't see your hands in front of your face. And it's so quiet that it almost feels like the air is being sucked out of the room. And after a second or two, you hear a muffled click as the door locks you in. You now have no choice but to go forward into the black, without your wallet, without your phone, without your eyes. In the black, you feel your way around everything. Floor to ceiling is covered in thick carpet. And as you move forward, the passageway gets smaller and smaller, closing in around you. You can no longer stand. You have to literally crawl forward. If you're claustrophobic or afraid of the dark, panic is going to set in pretty quickly. Now, moving slowly on your hands and knees, you hear music playing. You keep moving and see a hint of light. You reach the end of the passage and you draw back a heavy black curtain. You're now in a small 6-sided room lined with books, all of which say the Latitude, and all the pages are blank. A voice from somewhere tells you to place a book on a podium and open it. The lights go out, and suddenly the blank pages of the book you chose begin to show you a story. This is called The Fable. And the fable talks about an ancient society that walled itself off from the rest of the world. But 12 brave citizens dug a tunnel under the wall in order to bring their philosophy to other cultures. Now, after the fable is told, you see the words absolute discretion, the lights come back on, and you're instructed by name to move on. So you enter another small door and continue crawling through the dark.
Again you crawl?
Yeah?
Who started this cult? The knee doctor?
I don't see how...
And you crawl to another secret room, which has a stack of business cards that say, do you have knee and joint pain? Call Jeffrey Rosen, MD, Latitude Orthopedics. You like that, huh?
The next room you find looks like an old office. There's a couch, coffee table, and a vintage phone. The phone has one button that blinks for your attention. You pick up the receiver.
You've been selected out of many and were chosen for a reason. One of our members has great faith in you. In bright axiom, my friend.
You exit the room, gather your belongings, walk back out to the street. Now on the ground, embedded into the sidewalk itself, is the mysterious hex logo of the Latitude. Now, people walk by going about their day completely unaware of the absolute bizarre experiences going on inside. You yourself aren't quite sure what just happened. Then, your cell phone rings. The voice on the other end of the phone tells you you've been chosen for a special mission. Over the next few hours, a series of calls and texts directs you around the city on sort of an urban scavenger hunt. Now, at one point, you're told to go to a local bar, give the bartender your card, and say nothing. The bartender then slides you a heavy brass coin, and on the coin it says, absolute discretion. A few minutes later, you get a text sending you to another address, and when you arrive, you see the hex logo stamped in the cement. This is the place. You get another text with a door code. You try it, It works. You see the Hex logo on the stairwell. You walk up the stairs following the clues that have now become familiar. And when you reach your designated floor, it's just a row of offices. But one of the doors has a keycard lock, and the door is labeled Den Arcadia. So you try your card. It works. The room is covered in ornate psychedelic murals, and in the middle of the room are 5 vintage arcade games. So you put in your coin and start playing. Now, at first the game plays normally, but after a minute or so, it glitches out and you see a mysterious glowing figure.
Who is my owner?
This is Quas, the gatekeeper of the Latitude. Now, Quas gives you a secret word. It then instructs you to go home to your glowing box and enter the signal. Back home, you enter the code on the Latitude website. You're then shown a video of Professor Walter Kinley.
The latitude for us has a double meaning, as you can see. On the one hand, latitude means geographic breadth, width, a sense of leeway.
The professor welcomes you to the Latitude Society as a compeer, and he then gets on a boat and sails away. You then choose a society's secret name called a moniker, and you now have access to all the perks of the Latitude Society.
Like, what kind of perks?
Well, you can go to their e-commerce store and buy Latitude merchandise like t-shirts, keychains, and other swag.
Ah, there it is.
You can also attend secret gatherings called praxises. You can participate in other events, which are called jaunts. But most importantly, you can now invite others to join the society. For about $30 each, you can purchase those mysterious Latitude security cards. And as long as you use absolute discretion, you can buy as many cards as you like.
This is a pretty complicated way to sell merch.
It is. And this is one of the reasons for the downfall of the Latitude, at least this version of it. To learn what went wrong and what happened to the Latitude Society, we have to pull back the curtain. And that leads us to the Latitude's founder and chief visionary. His name is Jeff Hull.
You know, like for some people, heaven and hell is reality.
Jeff Hull is a Silicon Valley tycoon / artist. He worked for his father's financial firm and made a bundle when they sold the business for $500 million. Hull went on to create a company called Nonchalance, which specializes in real-world immersive storytelling. Things like escape rooms or murder mysteries is this type of entertainment. Nonchalance uses the urban landscape as a canvas on which to paint these interactive narratives. Another well-known Nonchalance experience was called the Jejune Institute. Its format was similar to the Latitude, but maybe a little more sinister. Jejune needs its own video, but if you're interested in things like this, I'll link you to a documentary in the description. The TV show Dispatches from Elsewhere, starring Jason Segel, is based on the Jejune Institute. So check that out if you want to learn more about how these immersive experiences work. So what was the intention of the Latitude Society? Was it a game? Yes. Was it a business? Yes. But was it a cult? Well?
What are the things that, like, a cult would do, you know? Separate yourself from your friends. Well, absolute discretion might be that, right? Ask for money. Oh, shit, like, you know, they have, like, there was a gift shop beforehand, but now all of a sudden it's like, if you want to continue on.
In the early days of the Latitude Society, the intent was to create amazing immersive experiences to attract corporate clients who wanted to commission their own experiences. Whether for entertainment, team building, or marketing, Jeff Hull believed he could use the Latitude as proof of concept to raise funding. And he needed to. The society cost about $3,000 per day to operate, and Hull put about $2 million of his own money in. But after 3 years, the Latitude couldn't sustain itself. So Hull introduced some controversial policies. Initially, members could invite anyone they wanted to for free, but eventually invitation cards cost $25, which was soon raised to $32 per card. Members didn't like this. Then Hull announced that there would be a membership fee of about $300 per year. This caused full-scale outrage. Members argued that when they invited someone to join, they were giving them a gift, and asking them to pay for their gift was rude.
So everyone just wanted all this for free?
They did.
Ingrates.
Well, Jeff Hull kind of felt the same way. The Latitude Society had over 3,000 members, but even if all of them paid their membership dues, paid for invitation cards, bought merchandise, you still fall way short of the $100,000 per month the Latitude needed to be self-sustaining.
So what did that guy do?
The only thing you do with a failing startup. He shut it down. But this was easier said than done. Jeff Hall and the Latitude Society were so good at creating an experience so immersive that members couldn't distinguish it from reality. Now, whether intentional or not, that's how cults are created.
I totally underestimated the power that the story can have upon certain people.
No matter what kind of life you lead, most of it falls into the mundane. Day in, day out, you're going through the motions. So when someone invites you to join a mysterious secret society, it's only natural to be intrigued. And this secrecy is attractive. People love to belong, and if it's something exclusive, that creates scarcity. It makes you feel special. Now, I remember when the only way to join Gmail was if someone invited you. And when Facebook launched, you could only join if you were a student currently enrolled in college. And we preach over and over about how labeling people is bad, but if we're honest, we all have labels that we've given to ourselves that we're proud of. Maybe it's our country, our political party, our religion, or our favorite sports team. We want to be in a tribe. Now, during a Latitude gathering or praxis, there's going to be crazy rituals like chanting, dancing, costumes, all kinds of things that would look silly to outsiders, but Latitude members fully committed to their roles. These experiences were special to them. They were important to the tribe. And the invitation system is genius. People want to be Promethean, meaning they want to be the holders of knowledge who teach that knowledge to others. So think about an obscure band or TV show that you discovered before anyone else. It made you feel cool to be early, to be first. The person who initiates you into the Latitude Society is called your ascendant, and you are their descendant. Tribes have hierarchies, and people like rising in the ranks. The more people you bring into the society, the more descendants you have. The higher you rise in the tribe. Genius. There's a specific model of identifying cults developed by Stephen Hassan, and it's called the BITE model of control, B-I-T-E. That's behavior, information, thought, and emotion. So let's see how the Latitude shapes up.
I was actually a little bit nervous that I was going to be kidnapped or that there was going to be some kind of crazy pagan ritual with some kind of sacrifice or something like that. I didn't really know what to expect.
At the top of the behavioral control section of the BITE model is regulate an individual's physical reality. Latitude does this by design. Then there's isolation from non-members. Absolute discretion certainly covers this. Then there's controlling the clothes you wear. Now look at this shot of the Latitude's Elder Council. Notice everyone's wearing a Latitude sash, and on the sash are various pins and insignia showing your rank in the organization's hierarchy. Even Jeff Hull himself is wearing what looks to be a military uniform. Now this is similar to what the leader of Scientology wears. Did you just beat me?
Had to. We had to call it the Tom Cruise thing.
The Tom Cruise thing? That's Scientology.
Hey, look, if you say the S word, they're gonna come after us with lawyers and video cameras.
Good point. I in the BITE model is information control. Cults use deception. Latitude does this. Information is not freely available to outsiders. Spying is used. Cult-generated propaganda is created. Also, information is shared unproportionally. One ex-Latitude member complained that she had to give the society all kinds of personal information about herself, but when she asked how that information was going to be used and who had access to it, she was told she didn't need to know. Now, Latitude checks all of these boxes. T is thought control. Members are encouraged to take on a new identity. Techniques are used to alter mental states. Members are required to take the cult's doctrine as true. Meditating, chanting, praying, and rituals are used to instill a new map of reality.
Checks all the boxes.
All the boxes. E is emotional control. This includes making you feel like the cult can help you reach your full potential. Another thing cults do to manipulate emotion is shunning those that leave. In an excellent article in Vice, one former member talks about how after she left the society, her roommates stopped telling her where they were going, and they treated her as suspicious. The Latitude Society checks a lot of these boxes. Even active members posted anonymously on Reddit asking others, is this a cult? They were worried that they, like most cult members, joined by accident. That's pretty scary. Did the founder of the Latitude Society, Jeff Hull, set out to form a cult? Well, I don't think he did. But whether intentional or
I'm
not,
gonna do an
he
oil
seems to have an
painting soon,
intuition for
now
how
that
to
I have
manipulate
that.
people. Now,
These
fortunately,
things.
I don't think he tried to do any harm, nor did he try to enrich himself. He could have taken advantage of his members, but he didn't. So this leads to a deeper and potentially dangerous question. A religion is defined as a group of people adhering to a specific set of beliefs. A cult is defined as a group of people adhering to a specific set of beliefs.
Yeah, that's the same definition.
It is. But religion is widely accepted, cults not so much. Nobody can argue that religions have or had cruel practices, and many people who leave cults felt that while they're in them, their lives were better. So what's the difference between a cult and a religion? I don't have the answer. You? Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. My name is AJ, that's Hecklefish. This has been the Y-Files. If you had fun or learned anything, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, share. All that stuff really helps out the channel. Until next time, be safe, be kind, and know that you are appreciated.
Like, comment, subscribe. Already have my chair. I need to get a fucking... I'm gonna turn that 4-hour video into a time lapse. You know what I mean? Of me painting. And then post it on YouTube, I think. Bowie, move. Get out of here. Go. Frito. Frito. You're gonna take that. Keep it going, baby. Oh, you're looking at it. Fuck's fucking nuts.
That's not. Oh, I'll make it better, but.
Yeah, you gotta get this guy fixed.
I know. But it looks better.
Yeah, but what I would do is just fucking get it wet with some new paint and but tape the dog up. Paint tape over the dog so it doesn't fuck it up. And then you just, you know what I mean? New sky.
Maybe.
I'll teach you, okay?
I don't know if I want to do a new sky yet.
That sky looks like shit.
Really?
A little bit. The dog looks crazy compared to the sky. It's like, you know, the sky looks better before.
Really?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes, but it wouldn't look, it'll look good. Like, it just looks kind of fucked up because, like, a lot of the parts are, you know what I mean? Like, look at this paint. That looks like shit. All this.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta go over it again with new fresh paint, thicker paint. That's well, it's just trying to paint it, babe, like it looks good. But you know what I mean.